the ground shake.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is By Gummy, and today we are back for another Minecraft statue tutorial. Today we are doing something slightly different, but something that's been extremely highly requested, and that is of course Ugandan Knuckles. So this is a bit of a weird one. It's a meme, I guess you could say, and it's exploded in popularity recently, and as a result, a lot of you guys have been asking for me to build it. Now, there's a few issues with it. One, it's quite a small character model. Two, the head is round, that's always an issue, and there's also lots of rounded details. So of course, it's not going to look 100% accurate, but I've tried my very best to get as close as possible whilst keeping to a Minecraft skin format. I was going to make a smaller version, but I thought not to, should I say, in the end, instead choosing to go with a skin statue kind of, dimensions. So that's what we're doing. And again, the blocks you're going to need are the following. You'll need white concrete, red terracotta, red concrete, red wool, red nether brick, lime terracotta, green concrete, lime concrete, light grey concrete, block of quartz, light grey wool, black concrete, black wool, white wool, yellow concrete, yellow terracotta, birch planks, and oak planks. Now, the thing about this is you can choose either one. You don't need both. But I'll show you later on what I mean by that. Now, I'll give you guys a second. Feel free to grab them blocks into your inventory, and then we can get straight into building. One thing I also want to say is this was designed by myself, but was heavily based on a skin I found online. So I'm going to link that down in the description if you want to rep the skin in-game. But of course, this is a much more detailed and much more in-depth version. So the basic template is from a skin, and then I've gone and expanded it a bunch. So again, just for transparency, that is how we do it. But yeah, anyways, with that said and done, let's get straight into building. So we're going to start off with our white concrete. We're going to place 3 white concrete, 2 light grey concrete, and 3 white. So essentially, we're starting off with the legs. That is 12 tall and 8 wide. Of course, 12 layers, and each one is 8 wide. So this is our first layer again. That's 3 white concrete, 2 light grey, and 3 white. The second layer is 3 red concrete, 2 red nether brick, and 3 red concrete. And again, that's our second layer. And after every single layer, I'm going to back up, give you guys an opportunity to pause if you need to do so. Please do take that opportunity, because you don't want to get to the end and realise that something's gone wrong 2 minutes in, because that really does suck, and it really makes you regret not taking your time. So take your time, do what you need to do, but again, don't be that person that gets to the end and realises it's all gone horribly wrong. The next layer, which is the third layer, is going to be 3 red wool, 2 red terracotta, and 3 red wool. And again, that is our third layer. Now, what we're also going to do, just as a temporary distraction, we're going to get our white concrete. We come to the first layer again, and as a 3D effect, this is just kind of make it look like shoes a bit more. We're going to leave 1 block, we place 2 white concrete, leave 2 blocks, and place 2 more. And it ends up looking something like this. Now, whilst it's small and it's a little tiny effect, it's just to make the shoes look a bit more pointy, a bit more rounded, like the characters. What you can do if you really want to is above that, place 2 red concrete on each one to give it a 2x2. That's an optional feature. Personally, I prefer it with just the white concrete. But again, that's up to you. Anyways, that is the first 3 layers. The fourth layer is going to be 1 lime terracotta, 2 lime concrete, 2 green concrete, 2 lime, and 1 lime terracotta, and that is our fourth layer. Our fifth layer is 1 red wool, 1 red terracotta, 1 red nether brick, 2 red terracotta, 1 red nether brick, 1 terracotta, and 1 red wool. So that is, again, our fifth layer. Our sixth layer is as following. We are going to place 3 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, and 3 red concrete. And on top of that, for our 7th layer, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 2 red wool, 2 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. So far, we're up to layer number 7. Again, brief opportunity to pause if you need to. This is what it should look like so far. Layer number 8, which is, of course, a 2/3 marker. We're going to place 3 red wool, 2 red nether brick, and 3 red wool. So that's layer number 8. Layer number 9, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, red concrete, red terracotta, and red concrete. So that is layer number 9. Layer number 10, we're going to place 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 2 red concrete. Once again, that is layer number 10. Layer number 11, we're going to place 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red nether brick, 1 red wool, and 2 red concrete. So that's the 11th layer, the second to last layer. And that brings us to our final layer, which is of course the 12th layer. And that consists of 1 red terracotta, 6 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. And once you got that, that is the front side of the legs complete. I'm going to get rid of my arm, give you guys an opportunity to pause. So it should look like this. Now again, there's a bit of variance you can do with the foot, or the feet, should I say, because of course there's 2 of them. You can play around with that a bit, the 3D effects, just to make it look a bit better. But again, it's something that's difficult to do. So once again, that is 12 tall and 8 wide, and that is the front side of the legs. If you want to, feel free to pause. If not, we're now ready to move on, and let's continue. So again, as you can see, I mentioned before, there's a lot of detail. You could just make this plain red concrete, that's up to you. Personally, I want to add a bunch of detail because otherwise it just looks boring. So that's basically the idea behind that. So, the next layer, which is the 13th layer, aka the first layer of the body, we're going to place 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 2 red concrete. So this is layer number 1 of the body. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mark out the hands. Now, we're not actually building the hands, we're just marking them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and also 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, using blocks of quartz. And essentially, this is just marking out where the hands go, and again, it means we don't have to count later on, we can just come straight back into it, and we're ready to go. Now, what we are going to do is on the left side, we come to the block third from left, and we replace it, should I say, the quartz block with light grey concrete, and on the right side we come to the second block from left and we do the exact same. So again, that's 4 blocks on the right, 4 blocks on the left. I just punched in the opposite directions, but on the left, again, that's 1 quartz, 1 light grey, 2 quartz, same on the other side, 1 quartz, 1 light grey, 2 quartz. So that is the 2 hands, 13th layer of the build. Now, anyways, continue with the body now, because we're going to ignore the hands, ignore the arms for now. We're going to continue with the body. So the second layer of the body, and again, bear in mind the body is 12 by 8. The second layer is as following. It's 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red nether brick, 2 red wool, and 2 red concrete. So again, that's the second layer, and that's 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red nether brick, 2 red wool, 2 red concrete. And that is our second layer. The third layer is 2 red wool, 1 light grey wool. So we need to grab ourselves our blocks. We can change things up a bit if you want to. So we're going to place 1 light grey wool, 2 white, 1 light grey, and 2 red wool. So that is our third layer. Our fourth layer is as following. We're going to place 1 red nether brick, 2 white wool, 2 red concrete, 2 white wool, and 1 red nether brick. And that's going to be our fourth layer. So again, good opportunity to pause. This is the first 4 layers. The next layer, which is the 5th layer, is as simple as 1 red wool, 6 red concrete, and 1 red wool. And on top of that, we're going to place 8 red concrete. So that is our 5th and 6th layers. Again, the 6th layer simply being 8 red concrete. The next layer is going to be 3 red concrete, 2 red nether brick, and 3 red concrete. And again, backing up so you can see. That is our 7th layer. For our 8th layer, we're going to do 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, 1 red terracotta, 2 red wool, 1 red nether brick, and 1 red concrete. And that's going to be our 8th layer. Our 9th layer is 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 4 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. So if I said terracotta there, I meant concrete. I just clocked that. It's concrete, not terracotta. This is the terracotta. This is the concrete. Hopefully you figured that. But yeah, I meant to say concrete. So just to clear that up. So that is our 9th layer. Our 10th layer is going to be 8 red concrete. So again, our 10th layer is 8 red concrete. Our 11th layer is going to be 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta. We're then going to need our black concrete. So we place 2 black concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 2 red concrete. That's our 11th layer, second to last layer. And then our 12th and final layer is going to be 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 4 black concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red concrete. And that is the front side of the body. Once again, going to get rid of my arm, and that is a 12 by 8. So again, please take this opportunity to pause if you need to do so. Now what we're going to do is move on to the front sides of each arm, starting off with the left arm. Whoopsie, don't want to actually change my skin. For some reason, the user interface on this is not the best, so that's quite unfortunate. Anyways, moving on to the arms. So the arms are 12 by 4, each one, left and right, both 12 by 4. Now, if you haven't already, what we're going to do is come to the 13th layer of the build, go forward to left, forward to right using quartz, and of course a little detail here. So that's essentially the starting point, that's layer number 1. On top of this, we can build up. So, again, if you haven't already, the first layer, from left to right, is 2 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, and 1 quartz. The second layer, and again, this is where inventory management becomes a bit of a pain. Let me just grab these. So there we go. We're going to place 1 quartz, 1 light grey wool. Then we're going to need our light grey concrete. So 1 light grey concrete and 1 quartz. And if I can actually get them into my inventory, there we go. So again, that's 1 quartz, 1 light grey wool, 1 light grey concrete, and 1 quartz. That's the second layer. The third layer is 4 quartz. So again, the third layer, 4 quartz. The fourth layer is going to be 2 light grey wool, 1 light grey concrete, 1 light grey wool, and we're going to cap it off with a layer of 4 blocks of quartz. And that is now the 5th layer. The 6th layer is 1 red terracotta, 2 red nether brick, 1 red terracotta. Again, that's the 6th layer. The 7th layer is 2 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool. And as you can see, it looks like this. So that's the 7th layer. The 8th layer is 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. And again, that is our 8th layer. For our 9th layer, we're going to do 2 red concrete and 2 red terracotta. So nice and simple. Again, the 9th layer is 2 red concrete and 2 red terracotta. The 10th layer is as following. It's going to be 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red nether brick. And again, that's our 10th layer. Our 11th layer, the second to last layer, is going to be 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. And our final layer, the 12th layer, is going to be 1 terracotta, 2 red concrete, and 1 red wool. And once you've got that, that is a 12 by 4. That is the left arm, or at least the front side of the left arm. And again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. Now, we're ready to move on to the right side. One thing I want to point out is the right side is the exact same as the left. So if you want to go ahead and copy it over, just mirror it. You are more than welcome to do so. However, I'm going to go over it layer by layer, left to right, if you want some assistance. So just like before, you're going to come to the 13th layer of the build. You're going to go 4 blocks to the right, and it's going to be 1 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, and 2 quartz. The second layer is going to be 1 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, 1 light grey wool, and 1 quartz. And again, that's our second layer. Our third layer, nice and easy, is going to be 4 quartz. And on top of that, for our fourth layer, we're going to do 1 light grey wool, 1 light grey concrete, and 2 light grey wool. For our fifth layer, again, very, very simple. We're going to place 4 blocks of quartz. That's his gloves. And then for the sixth layer, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, 2 red nether brick, and 1 red terracotta. For our seventh layer, we're going to place 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 2 red wool. And then for our 8th layer, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, and 1 red wool. And that is our 8th layer. For our 9th layer, we're going to place 2 red terracotta and 2 red concrete. Again, very simple. For our 10th layer, we're going to place 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta. For the 11th layer, the second to last layer, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The final layer, which is the 12th layer, is going to be 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. And once you've done that, it ends up looking something like this. Again, exact same as the left side, and that is the front of the arms complete. Now, right now, you should have something that looks like this. That is the front side of the body, and that is 24 tall, 16 wide, 8 wide if you're not including the arms. And that is the front side complete. Now, what we're going to do is, of course, as nice as it's looking, it's not 3D and it's not looking like a statue. So that's what we're going to worry about now, is making it 3D and making it look like a statue. Pretty self-explanatory. So, coming around to the left side, we're going to start there. What we're going to do is grab ourselves our white concrete. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left from this white concrete already there. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to work up. So, the side of the leg is a 12 by 4, so that's 12 tall, 4 wide. However, and this is a big however, the first block here is already done. That's our 4th block, which means we're only placing 3 per layer, because 3 plus 1 equals 4. Hopefully that makes sense. So, working from left to right, we're going to go up layer by layer. The second layer is 1 red concrete and 2 yellow concrete. The third layer is 1 red wool and 2 yellow terracotta. The next layer is 3 lime terracotta. So again, that's the 4th layer, and that is 3 lime terracotta. And on top of that, for the 5th layer, we're going to place 3 red wool. For the 6th layer, we're going to place 3 red terracotta. And for the 7th, we place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red concrete. So again, so far, it looks like this. The next layer is going to be 3 red wool. And on top of that, we're going to place 3 red concrete. On top of this, we place 1 red concrete and 2 red terracotta. That's our 10th layer. Our 11th layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red nether brick. The final layer, which is the 12th layer, is 2 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and once you've done that, that is the left side of the leg complete. And from a side angle, it looks like this. So again, lots of detailing, but relatively simple to do. So now what we're going to do is head round to the right side. The right side, again, is the exact same as the left. So if you want to copy it over, you're more than welcome to do so. So let's begin. Coming around to the right side, we're going to start off by expanding 1, 2, 3 to the right using white concrete. Same logic applies, it's a 12 by 4, however the first block is already complete. So we're going to start off, again, first layer is already done, that's 3 white concrete. The second layer, just like before, is 2 yellow concrete and 1 red concrete. The third layer is 2 yellow terracotta and 1 red wool. And on top of that, we're going to place a layer of 3 lime terracotta. So that's the first 4 layers. The fifth layer is going to be 3 red wool. On top of that, we place 3 red terracotta. And on top of that, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red concrete. That is the first 7 layers. On top of that, we're going to place 3 red wool, 3 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, 1 red concrete. So that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th layers. The 11th layer is 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. And the 12th and final layer is 1 red wool and 2 red terracotta. So that is the right side of the leg. Again, 12 by 4, and from a side angle, looks like this. So exact same pattern as the previous side. Now, in regards to the sides of the arms, we're going to have to start off by coming around to the rear side, by coming to the bottom of each hand, and what we're going to do is build a platform. So the bottom layer, which is this layer of quartz, we're going to bring it back 1, 2, 3 using quartz. Make sure you're using quartz and not white concrete like I just did there. And what we're going to do is bring it back behind the quartz, 3 blocks using quartz, and behind the light grey concrete, 3 light grey concrete. So it ends up looking something like this. So this is the underneath of the right hand, and if we go around to the other side, the left, again, 3 quartz, 3 light grey concrete, 3 quartz, 3 quartz, and if you come below, again, that will be a 4x4 square, which looks something like this. So that's the left side, and then this is the right side. It's important you have this because otherwise there's going to be a big old gap there later on in the video or later on in the build, and it will look a bit weird. So once you have that platform, then if you come to the side, it will be like a backwards L shape. What this is, again, is the side of the arm. The side of the arm is 12x4, and this block here is the 4th block. So we're placing, just like before with the legs, 3 blocks per layer. Now, the first layer, again, is 2 quartz. We're going to replace the 3rd block with 1 light grey concrete, and then what we do is on the underneath, in between that light grey concrete and the previous, we place 1 more. So it's now kind of like a sideways T shape. Back to the side of the arm. Again, the first layer is 2 quartz, 1 light grey. The second layer is 2 quartz, 1 light grey wool. The third layer is 3 quartz. The fourth layer is 3 light grey. And the fifth layer is 3 quartz. So very, very simple first 5 layers. The 6th layer is going to be 1 red terracotta, 1 red nether brick, 1 red terracotta. So again, that's the 6th layer. The 7th layer is 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, and 1 red nether brick. On top of this, we're going to place 3 red concrete. And on top of that, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 1 red terracotta. The next layer, which is the 10th layer, is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The 11th layer, the second to last layer, is going to be 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red wool. The 12th and final layer is going to be 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. And once you've done that, that is a 12x4, and it ends up looking like this. Now again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. And now we're going to move on to the right side of the arm. So we're heading around to the right side, same procedure applies. We come to the first layer and we're going to punch out the second block, replace it with light grey concrete, and then the block in between the light grey concrete and the other light grey concrete is going to be replaced with light grey concrete. Looking on from the side layer, just like before, 12x4, the first block is already done, so we're placing 3 blocks per layer. The second layer is going to be 1 light grey wool, 2 quartz. The third layer is 3 quartz. 4th layer, 3 light grey wool, and the 5th layer, 3 quartz. So again, 5 layers of very, very simple builds. The 6th layer is going to be 1 red terracotta, 1 red nether brick, and 1 red terracotta. So again, that's the 6th layer. The 7th layer is 1 red nether brick, 1 red concrete, and 1 red wool. On top of that, we're going to place 3 red concrete. And on top of that, we place 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The next layer, which is the 10th layer, is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The 11th layer, second to last layer, 1 red wool, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete. And then the 12th and final layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. And with that done, that is the right side of the arm complete. Again, exact same as the other side. Now, what we're going to do is come around to the rear side and start working on that, because as you can see right here, it is lacking to say the least. So we're going to start off with the rear side of the legs. The rear side of the legs, just like the front side of the legs, is 12 tall and 8 blocks wide. However, and this is again a big however, the left side, as you can see, and the right side are already complete. So that's 2 rows already done. 8 minus 2 equals 6. Insane math skills right there. What we're going to be doing is linking left side to right side using 6 blocks per layer. Of course, once we've done that, it will add together and make a 12 by 8, but let's get straight into building. So the first layer is as following. We're going to be placing 2 white concrete. Make sure, again, using white concrete and not quartz like I did. 2 light grey concrete and 2 white concrete. So that's layer number 1. And again, that's 2 white concrete, 2 light grey, and 2 white. The second layer is as following. 2 red concrete, 2 red nether brick, and 2 red concrete. And that's our second layer. The third layer is 2 red wool, 2 red terracotta, and 2 red wool. So that's our third layer. And to cap it off, we're going to place our fourth layer, which is going to be 2 lime concrete, 2 green concrete, and 2 lime concrete. So again, exact same as the front side. The fifth layer is 1 red terracotta, 1 red nether brick, 2 red terracotta, 1 nether brick, and 1 terracotta. On top of that, for the sixth layer, we're going to do 2 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, and 2 red concrete. So again, that's the first 6 layers. For our seventh layer, we're going to do 1 red nether brick, 1 red concrete, 2 red wool, 1 concrete, and 1 nether brick. On top of this, we're going to place 2 red wool, 2 red nether brick, and 2 red wool. For our ninth layer, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 2 terracotta, 1 concrete, and 1 terracotta. For the 10th layer, we're going to place 1 concrete, 1 wool, 2 terracotta, 1 wool, 1 concrete. For the 11th layer, the second to last layer, we're going to do 1 concrete, 1 wool, 2 red nether brick, 1 wool, 1 concrete. And then for the final layer, we're going to do 6 blocks of red concrete. Again, once you've done that, that is a 12 by 8, should look something like this. And again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, with that said and done, we're now ready to move on to the rear side of the body. The rear side of the body, slightly different to the front side in the sense that it doesn't have the white patch or the black part at the top. So, starting off with our first layer, or the 13th layer of the build, but the first layer of the body, we're going to be doing 4 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, and 3 red concrete. So again, the first layer is 4 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, and 3 red concrete. The second layer is 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. So that is the second layer. The third layer is 2 red wool, 4 red concrete, and 2 red wool. So that's our third layer. Our fourth layer is 1 red nether brick, 2 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, and 1 red nether brick. Once again, that is our fourth layer. The next layer, which is the fifth layer, is going to be 1 red wool, 1 concrete, 1 wool, 1 concrete, 1 terracotta, 2 concrete, and 1 wool. And that is our fifth layer. On top of this, for our sixth layer, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 wool, 1 terracotta, 1 concrete, a second concrete, 1 terracotta, and a final block of red concrete. And that is our sixth layer. Our seventh layer, we're going to place 3 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 3 red concrete. Try not to do what I just did there, which is misplace it. On top of this, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 concrete. And that is our 8th layer. For our 9th layer, we're going to do 2 red wool, 1 terracotta, 2 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 2 red wool. For our 10th layer, we're going to do 1 concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 terracotta, and 1 red concrete. So that's the 10th layer. The 11th layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red nether brick, and 1 red concrete. And the 12th and final layer is 1 red concrete, 1 terracotta, 4 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 concrete. Once you've done that, that is the rear side of the body. That's a 12 by 8. And again, if you want to pause, you're more than welcome to do so. And we're now ready to move on to the rear side of each arm. So the rear side of each arm, just like before, is a 12 by 4. However, again, the first block's already done, so that means we're placing 3 blocks per layer. Starting off with this left one here, the first layer is already done. That's 2 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, and 1 quartz. The second layer is going to be 1 light grey wool, 1 light grey concrete, and our quartz again. Make sure to place quartz and not white concrete. The third layer is 3 blocks of quartz. The fourth layer is 1 light grey wool, 1 concrete, and 1 wool. And then for the fifth layer, we're going to place 3 blocks of quartz. For the sixth layer, we're going to place 2 red nether brick and 1 red terracotta. On top of that, for our seventh layer, we're going to place 2 red concrete and 1 red wool. The next layer we're going to place is 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, and on top of that we place 1 red concrete and 2 red terracotta. The next layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red nether brick. Second to last layer, the 11th layer, is going to be 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and then the 12th and final layer is going to be 2 concrete and 1 wool. And that is the rear side of the right arm. Now again, that's 12 by 4. The other side is the exact same pattern, just mirrored. So let's continue. The first layer on the right side is going to be 1 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, and 2 quartz. The second layer is 1 quartz, 1 light grey concrete, 1 light grey wool, and on top of that we're going to place a layer of 3 quartz. On top of that, for our fourth layer, we're going to do 1 light grey wool, 1 concrete, 1 wool, and on top of that, we're going to place 3 quartz. So that's the first 5 layers complete. The next layer is 1 red terracotta, 2 red nether brick. On top of that, we're going to place 1 red wool and 2 red concrete. The next layer we're going to place is 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, and on top of that, we place 2 red terracotta and 1 red concrete. The next layer, which is the 10th layer, is going to be 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The 11th layer is 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, and then 1 red wool. And then the 12th and final layer is going to be 1 wool and 2 concrete. And again, that is the rear side of the arm, exact same as the other side if you've done it correctly. And again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, coming to the top side, what we're going to do is in between the 2 red terracottas, we're going to link them together on either side, and then we fill this middle section in. On the left side and the right side, we now have a 4x2 gap. What we're going to do is we're going to bring it 1 more layer, so red concrete, either side of the red terracotta. So we now have a 3x2 gap on the left side, and a 3x2 gap on the right side. On the left side, starting from the back left corner, we're going to place 1 terracotta, 1 concrete, 1 terracotta, and in front of that, again starting from the left corner, 1 wool, 1 red nether brick, and 1 concrete. So from above, it ends up looking something like this. Now on the right side, again starting from the back left corner, we're going to place terracotta, concrete, terracotta, and on the front layer, concrete, nether brick, or should I say red nether brick, and red wool. And from above, it ends up looking something like this. Now that is 16 by 4, 16 wide, 4 thick, and that is the top of the shoulders. And with that said and done, that is the body of the statue complete. And what we're going to do is have a little spin around just before we go on to the head to make sure everyone has something that looks like this. Now again, this is optional. If you want to skip forwards in the video a bit, you're more than welcome to do so. But what this is intended for is for people that might not be quite sure about a certain section, and it gives them one last opportunity before we move on. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to come to specific sections. For example, this is the front side of the legs. I'm going to give the measurements. It's 12 tall, 8 wide, and also state whether there's any 3D effects, which in this case there is, which is the bottom left and bottom right corner with the 2 blocks on each side representing shoes. Moving on up, we have the front side of the body, that's 12 by 8 again, and the front side of each arm, 12 by 4. There is indeed no 3D effects, so very simple. Coming around to the left side with the left side of the leg, that is a 12 by 4, with the underside of the left hand, which is a 4 by 4, and the left side of the arm, which is again a 12 by 4. Coming around to the right side, exact same as the left, we have the right side of the leg, that's 12 by 4, the inside of the right hand, which is 4 by 4, and the right side of the arm, which is once again 12 by 4. No 3D effects on any of those. Coming around to the rear side, we have the rear side of the legs, that's 12 by 8, again no 3D effects. With the rear side of the body, 12 by 8, and the rear side of each arm, 12 by 4. Once again, no 3D effects. The final side, which is the shoulders, is 16 wide, 4 thick. And again, the middle part doesn't really matter because it's going to be covered up by the head. Make sure the left side and the right side, though, however, are indeed to the pattern. So, that is the body so far. Again, you can see it's very detailed. Doesn't really need to be, but I just thought I'd do it for fun, to be honest, to make it look a bit better. So what we're going to do now is start working on the head. Now for the head, again, similar pattern applies. It's basically comprised of red wool, red concrete, red terracotta, and red nether brick, with a few other additional blocks as details. So for the head, we're going to start off with the front side, the side with the black concrete. Come to the front left corner, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, which should be this red concrete right here, we're going to place a red concrete, bring it 1 forwards. Then what we do is we head over to the right side, do the exact same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 5th block, place a red concrete, bring it 1 forwards. Now if you've done it correctly, there should be a 6 block gap in between. Starting from left to right, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 3 red concrete, and 1 red wool. So that's the first block. That's an 8 wide overhang, and it's 1 block thick. Then what we're going to do is for the second layer, we're going to leave 1 block. We then place 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 2 red concrete. So it's an 8 by 2, 1 block gap on the left, 1 block gap on the right. What we're then going to do is come around to the sides and expand 5 blocks backwards. So again, that's 5 blocks backwards. So we now have a 2 block overhang on the rear side. For the rear side, the way we're going to join them together, on the inside, starting from left to right, we're going to place 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, 1 red terracotta, 1 concrete, and 1 wool. And on the outside, we place 1 concrete, 1 wool, 1 terracotta, 1 concrete, 1 wool, and 1 concrete. We're then going to punch out the front left and front right corner, similar to the front side, and it ends up giving you an 8 by 2 curved overhang. So right now, you should have something that looks like this. This is essentially an 8 by 8 square with each corner missing. The reason I punched out the corners is to make the head as rounded as possible, because of course the character's head is round. I appreciate it does look kind of weird in some sense, but it's the best we can really get with the amount of space we have. So in terms of what we're going to do, again, this is the template 8 by 8. So we've got the front side, left side, right side, rear side. Each side's 8 by 8. So we're going to work on the front side first, get it out of the way. So, starting off with the front side, again, the side with the black concrete, the first layer consists of a 1 block gap, 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 wool, 2 concrete, and a 1 block gap. Starting on the second layer, we're going to place, above the gap, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 4 red concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 red concrete. And that's the second layer. The third layer is 1 wool, 6 concrete, 1 wool, and that's our third layer. The fourth layer is 8 red concrete, so nice and simple. And on top of that, for the fifth layer, we're going to place 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 terracotta, and 2 red concrete. Again, that's our fifth layer. Our sixth layer is 4 red concrete, 1 wool, 3 concrete. Seventh layer is going to be 1 terracotta, 1 wool, 1 concrete, 1 wool, 2 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 wool. So that's our 7th layer. And then for our 8th and final layer, we're going to leave a 1 block gap. We place 1 terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 wool, and 2 red concrete. And it gives you an 8x8 square with a block missing from each corner, again, just to add a rounded kind of effect. And that's the front side of the face. Now, of course, it's not complete because it's missing like every single feature going. So what we're going to do is grab ourselves our white wool, black concrete, birch planks, or oak planks. So starting off, what we're going to do is come to the bottom left corner, come up to the second layer, and to the third block. From here, we're going to place 1 birch plank, 2 black concrete, and 1 birch plank as a 3D effect. Now, above this, so on the third layer, we come to the second block, we're going to place 1 birch plank, 1 black concrete, 2 birch, 1 black concrete, 1 birch. Above this, we're going to leave 1 block, place 6 birch, and then above that, we're going to leave 3 blocks, 2 birch, and 3 block gap. So it ends up looking something like this. What we're then going to do is grab ourselves our black wool, and directly above this black concrete on the left, we're going to go up 1 and to the right 1, and we're going to place a black wool on top of that as a 3D effect. So currently, there's 2 blocks of 3D effect. So what this is the mouth and the nose area. Now, the reason I said you could use oak is because that's an alternative, but on reflection, I personally like birch better. But just to show you what it looks like with oak, you probably saw it in the thumbnail. This is what it looks like with oak. Again, it's very similar, just birch gives you kind of like a lighter and a bit more, I guess, glowy, a bit brighter texture, which is, on reflection, quite nice. So again, let me just replace that with birch planks. It ends up looking like this. Again, if you want to use oak planks, use oak planks. If you want to use birch, use birch. Now, we're going to grab ourselves back our black concrete. And above the left corner here, we're going to place 2 black concrete. So we go up 1 to left 1. Above this on the left, we place 1 white wool. And then next to that, we place 1 black concrete. So now a 2x2 square. On the right, we do the exact same. So above this birch plank, we place 1 black to the right. Up 1 using white and to the left 1 using black, and that is the front side of the face. So now you can see the eyes, the derpy eyes, and the nose/mouth area. Hopefully now it's starting to look a bit more like Ugandan Knuckles. So that's the front side. That's an 8x8 kind of circle shape. Again, if you want to pause, you're more than welcome to do so. And now what we're going to do is start working on the sides, namely, in this case, the left side. So coming around to the left side, the first layer consists of a 1 block gap, 6 red concrete, and 1 block gap. The second layer is, and I need to get my inventory back, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, and 1 red concrete. The third layer is 3 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 3 red concrete. So that's the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 red wool, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, and 1 red concrete. That's our fourth layer. The fifth layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, and 1 red wool. The sixth layer is 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 3 red concrete, and in fact a 4th red concrete. So that is the 6th layer. The second to last layer, which is the 7th layer, we're going to place 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, and 1 red wool. And then for the final layer, we're going to leave 1 block, we're going to place 1 red terracotta, and 5 red concrete, of course with a 1 block gap on the edge. Once you've done that, that's an 8x8 square, again with a block missing from each corner. And what we're going to do is a little hair effect, again this is optional, is we're going to come to the third layer, and on the 3rd, 5th, and 7th block, we're going to place a red concrete. And on top of that, we're going to place another red concrete. So it's currently 3 blocks, or 3 rows of 2 red concrete. On the third layer, we're going to place from left to right 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red wool. And then on the fourth layer, we're going to place 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, and a 2nd red concrete. Now those who are paying attention would notice that that's the exact same blocks as before, so that's kind of acting as a marker / guideline, and again it's 3 stripes of 4 blocks tall, and that is on the 3rd layer to the 6th layer, as you can see right here. From a side angle, the reason I've done that is again it just gives the perception of depth and adds it to make it look like there's spikes. Heading round to the right side now, again we're going to be working from left to right. The first layer is 6 red concrete with a 1 block gap on the left and the right side. The second layer, we're going to place 1 red concrete, 2 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, and 1 red terracotta. The final block, 1 red concrete, and as you can see, it leaves a 1 block gap in the bottom right corner here. The third layer, we're going to place 3 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 3 red concrete. So that's the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, and 1 red wool. So that's our fourth layer. Our fifth layer we're going to place is 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 concrete. So that's the fifth layer. The sixth layer is 4 red concrete, 1 red wool, and 2 red concrete. Second to last layer is going to be 1 terracotta, 2 concrete, 1 wool, 2 concrete, and 1 wool. And then the 8th and final layer is going to be 5 concrete, so we leave a 1 block gap, 5 concrete, 1 red terracotta, and a 1 block gap right there. And yet again, that's an 8x8 square with a 1 block gap in each corner. And just like we did on the other side, we're going to come to the bottom left corner, come up to the third layer, and on the second, fourth, and sixth block, we're going to place a red concrete. And above that, we place another red concrete on each. And then on the third layer, we place 1 red wool, 1 terracotta, 1 concrete, fourth layer, concrete, concrete, wool. So again, ends up looking like this. Gives a perception of depth with the spikes, and just kind of adds a bit of shape to the head. So from a side angle, currently looks something like this. So the second to last side, kind of wrapping it up, we got the rear side of the head. Now just like before, again it's an 8x8, left side and right side already done, so that means we're placing 6 blocks per layer. So the first layer is already done, we got a 1 block gap, 1 red concrete, wool, terracotta, concrete, wool, concrete, gap. The second layer is going to be 1 red nether brick, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 1 red concrete, 1 red nether brick. So that's the second layer. The third layer is 1 red terracotta, 2 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, and 1 red wool. And that is the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, 1 red nether brick, 1 red terracotta, 1 red wool, and 1 red concrete. The fifth layer is 1 red concrete, 1 red wool, 2 red concrete, 2 red terracotta. Second to last, or not second to last, third to last, so this is the sixth layer, is going to be 1 red concrete, 1 red terracotta, 1 red concrete, 1 wool, 1 concrete, 1 wool. The actual second to last layer, the seventh layer, is going to be 1 terracotta, 2 concrete, 1 wool, 2 concrete. Again, that's the seventh layer. And then the eighth and final layer, we're going to leave 1 block, and then we place 2 concrete, 1 wool, 2 concrete, 1 wool. And that's an 8x8, again with a block missing from each corner. And that's the rear side of the head. Now the final side, which is of course the top, we're going to come back round to the front side and work our way from back to front. So starting off, we're going to place in the back left corner 1 red concrete, 1 terracotta, 1 wool, 2 terracotta, and 1 concrete. The second layer is 1 concrete, 1 terracotta, 1 red nether brick, 1 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 concrete. The next layer is 1 red wool, 1 terracotta, 1 red concrete, 1 wool, 1 terracotta, and 1 wool. That's the third layer. The fourth layer is 1 nether brick, 1 concrete, 1 wool, 2 concrete, 1 nether brick. Second to last layer is 1 wool, 1 terracotta, 2 concrete, 1 terracotta, and 1 concrete. And then the final layer is 2 concrete, 1 red wool, 1 concrete, and 2 red wool. And from the top side ends up looking something like this. And once you've done that, I'm going to get rid of my arm again, just to give you guys an opportunity to pause if you need to do so. That is your very own Ugandan Knuckles statue. So again, there's a few things you could potentially improve. This was something that I kind of pushed out as quickly as possible because you guys have been asking for it a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. One thing I also want to say is apologies for all the cuts in this video. It's because there was a bunch of background noise, and that is mainly because of trains near where I currently live, because I've moved, and they're a bit of a pain, which makes recording a bit of a pain. But yeah, there was a few interruptions throughout the video, so I want to apologise for that. But with that said and done, if you did enjoy the video, a like would still very much be appreciated. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. Again, if you're new to the channel, this isn't one of the best quality videos I've done, purely because of interruptions, and also design isn't, again, 100% perfected, but if you want to look at it on your own, you're more than welcome to do so. But apart from that, I'm going to wrap up the video. Don't want to waste any more of your time, because again, this was a pretty long video. So, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name is By Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light